Hello, welcome back to our series on how to write an article. In the last video, you look at how to write an what is the format, what is the tone for an article. But in this video, we'll show you how we put the entire article together, okay, so that you can write a nice article on your own. In the first video, we actually planned the article. We have decided to have a 5-paragraph structure. So we did talk about having one point over here for the introduction, why the holiday appeals to you. 2 activities, so 2 paragraphs. Sorry, 2 paragraphs for activities, and then one more paragraph on what travelers will gain from the experience, plus a conclusion. Now, after some thinking, I've decided that maybe it's better to have a separate introduction, okay? A separate intro, a catchy introduction, just to engage our readers a little bit more when they enter the website. And the conclusion, we're not going to have it. We will combine the conclusion with what travelers will gain from the holiday experience. We'll combine it. So you have introduction and 4 body paragraphs. Okay. So intro, that's the first paragraph. P1, P2, P3, and P4. And lastly, this is your P5, the conclusion as well. So let's have a look at this one. Okay, so we started with the catchy introduction over here, and we got to use some techniques like rhetorical question, exclamation mark, okay, just to make it exciting for the readers to read. That's super important for any introduction, even when you're writing in future. Your introduction, especially if you're writing for a blog or for a website, okay, you want to make sure your introduction is catchy, is attractive, otherwise people will just click away. So here is an attractive introduction, and then why it appeals to you, the activity, and lastly we have what the travelers can gain over here, what travelers will gain. So look closely at this. Okay, we're gonna forget all these features of article. Let me erase that and focus instead on the content. I want to bring your attention to one skill that we talked about earlier, ROSE. You want to keep your content relevant. You will have an opinion. You will use specific details, and you would try to give some examples for things. Why do we do this? Let me show you. These 4 items are key to elaboration. So those of you who are in our class, right, you notice whenever I talk about situational writing, I always tell you elaboration is very, very important. You must know how to elaborate. Why? This is an kind of a snippet taken from Cambridge Examiner's report. So people who are marking the actual O-level scripts, they say this. They say some students were too reliant on the given information and language. So they don't want people to just copy and paste, right? You have to come up with something original. So don't copy the whole chunks of text. You want to just maybe take out 1 or 2 words, okay? 1 to 2 phrases, okay, from the text. Then you elaborate from there. What you should do is to use original ideas that are related to the visual but not in the text. Okay? The key is it's related but it's not in there. How do we do that? Let's look at the task that we have here about Xi'an, right? Now, when you're writing, say terracotta. What do you know about terracotta? In the earlier video, I said that they're stone, and they're like an army. Now, I'm sure there are a lot more things you can write about, okay? And they are thousands of years old. Now, if you remember pictures of terracotta, okay, just try to recall, you realize that they're about the size of an actual human being, okay? So you can call it life size. And it is really like a real human being. It is realistic. It is life like? Perhaps you might want to ask yourself why we have terracotta. Why were they built? If you know, it'd be great. Some of you who are familiar with this, you might know that it was actually an army, okay, a fake stone army, created to protect the emperor in his afterlife. So the emperor knows that when he dies, he's gonna be lonely and he needs an army to protect him. And this is the army. Thousands of sculptures, okay, mainly to protect the emperor. Now let's say you don't know this. Come up with something interesting. You know what? When I was young, when I first saw this, I thought these were real human beings who were turned into stone, because they look so realistic. Real human beings turned into stone. They look incredibly real. Even has like tiny little details like the mustache and all that. Yeah, and maybe a little bit of description on this, right? You could say it's very intricate. It's very. You can talk about the craftsmanship. Speaking of turning into stone, do you guys know what can turn human beings into stone? This famous lady called Medusa, okay, a Greek god whose hair is made of snakes, and when you stare into her eyes, you turn into a stone, okay, and you become stone forever. Okay, you can't recover from that. And there you have it. Okay, some information about terracotta. You see, just by doing a little bit of brainstorming, okay, detailed brainstorming, you can come up with points for just one activity. Now let's look at the second activity. This one, local guides. Okay, well, knowledgeable, key thing, knowledgeable. I don't want to turn this into an activity because no activity over there. Maybe I want to tie it to another activity. Maybe I would combine it with this one and say, okay, when you go to the ancient bell tower, you'll be accompanied with a local guide. What's that ancient bell tower? It's a tower. What do you think a tower is for? Now, this is like an ancient city. A long time ago, they built this tower. Very often at the time, the world was like full of wars, battles. So this is maybe kind of like a watchtower, okay, to defend the city. And since you can climb up the tower, you can probably see something. Okay, all or most towers will have kind of a view like this. So describe the view a little bit. What sort of view are you getting? You can say you're getting a panoramic view. You can say a scenic view of Xi'an. Yeah, it's fantastic, right? And perhaps at the bell tower you have many. It has a lot of. There's a rich history to this bell tower. Now, since we're talking about history over here, you see this word? Aha! I see that. Maybe I can start bringing the point about, since there's a lot to learn about the bell tower, why not we get a local guide? And these local guides will help you with explaining the stories behind some of the things that you see. So we will use this local guides. Yeah. Now, what's the good thing about local guides? How they're different from reading from like Wikipedia or reading from just a book is that they tend to make the stories come alive. Okay, lively stories, lively storytelling. Let's do that. Now this part here about food, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking like, food, do I need a paragraph to write this? Okay, talk about tea, food. Okay, I have some examples of food, dumpling, whatever. I happen to know Xi'an. I know there is a very special food in Xi'an. They call it the biang biang noodles. I know it sounds weird, but it exists. Go check it out, biang biang noodles. Okay, after the video, not now. The biang noodles, okay, is real. And of course, some Chinese food, typical Chinese food could include things like dumpling. You don't have to be a genius to know this. And dim sum, perhaps. Bao. Yep. Try to draw from your experience. This paragraph after I elaborated a little bit, I don't think I can write a lot about it. So I will, therefore, find I will not call this an activity. I will put this in another paragraph. Let's consider the paragraphs we have. So which paragraph besides this can we fit in the part about food? I'm thinking like, maybe that's why the holiday appeals to me. So why? If you talk about its relevance to you as an individual, you could say, yeah, because I am a foodie. So I want to go to China to try all these dishes. Got it? So you can still fulfill the requirement without creating a whole new paragraph for this. Okay, you can actually write the food paragraph here. Why the holiday appeals to you. Okay, so some flexibility over there. So let's look at this article. Now, after we're done with this video, I would strongly advise you to go down to the link below to download this sample, so you can have a better idea. You can analyze this further. Oh, let's see this. Okay, are you ready for the holiday? With the travel season just around the corner, I've been busy planning. While I love the excitements of modern metropolitan cities, this year I truly long to visit somewhere exotic, somewhere few have visited. You see, I am trying to link it to why I have chosen Xi'an, which is more of a historical city. Yeah, why you want a historical city? This is about me, okay? This is my preference. My preference. When I mentioned Xi'an to my family, they struck in disbelief, although few people have ever heard of the ancient city. The city's rich heritage truly fascinates history enthusiasts like me. See, I've brought in me again because I want to show the examiner this is why it appeals to me personally. Here, okay, why it appeals to me. Now, why else does it appeal to me? Why else here? If you're a foodie, I'm a foodie. This is my personal preference. Okay, so we have dumplings, spicy, hot pot, local pyang noodles. These are all examples. Okay, those things that appeal to me, I am trying to make it relevant. Okay. Let's move on to the next paragraph. So the activities we have. The first activity is going to be visiting the terracotta warriors. So let's remind ourselves to use the ROSE again. Make sure it's relevant to the reader. Make sure you have an opinion, have some specific examples, and maybe give some examples, specific details, give some examples if you have. Undoubtedly, the highlights of Xi'an is the renowned terracotta warriors. This is from the text. The stone warriors have withstood the test of time. Oh, this is something original. Yeah, withstood the test of time for thousands of years. We try to be more specific here. We don't want to say for many years. The sculptures had been buried underground. It is difficult to imagine that these intricate lifelike structures were crafted without any modern machineries. Rumors have it that the warrior was created to protect the emperors in his afterlife, although no one knows for sure. Okay. It actually piques the reader's curiosity. Okay. It's kind of relevant to people who are reading. Okay, you want to find out why do they have it. No one knows for sure. You got to go there to find out. The warriors are so realistic that when I was a child, I thought Medusa had turned actual soldiers into stone. Yeah, something original here. Thousands of these sculptures have been uncovered. Okay, again, is very specific, stretching as far as the eyes can see. You're bound to be bedazzled by the sight of it. This is the opinion. Now, I want to point your attention to this. Pay attention here. The opinion typically comes last. Okay, you can have it throughout, but the last sentence, okay, it's better to end it with an opinion. What you believe, okay, I believe. Okay, things like this are nice to kind of like sum up the entire paragraph. So very important to end off with an opinion. It's like a mini conclusion for the paragraph. We didn't really use any examples over here, but we try to use some of the techniques in ROSE. Now, let's apply again the ROSE technique. One must not miss out this breathtaking landmark of the city. The tower was built hundreds of years ago. Specific. To defend the city against invaders. Today it overlooks the modern city of Xi'an. You can enjoy the panoramic view. You can enjoy the panoramic view. You're trying to make it relevant to the reader. We start using you here, okay, to relate to the reader. If you're not a fan of all these things, okay, the local guides will do that for you again. You're trying to be relevant, okay? If you're lazy, don't worry, someone will do the storytelling for you. You will surely be captivated by the guide's engaging storytelling, incredible wealth of knowledge. There we have it. And opinion. Yeah. Last paragraph. Whether you're an inquisitive traveler or food hunter, Xi'an has something for everyone. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, it's gonna be relevant to you. You gotta be interested in this. The cultural city will take you into a new realm, different from everything you've experienced before. It is through such eye-opening encounters that you will broaden your horizon. You would broaden your horizon. We are trying to answer what travelers would gain. Okay, so broadening their horizon. Find out more about what this ancient city has to offer. At this, I'm sure Xi'an will be a trip of a lifetime for you. See again, you. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what we call a call to action. A call to action is telling the reader to do something after they finish reading it. Most people, when they're done reading this, they're just gonna, okay, fine, I'm done. They throw it away. You don't want them to do that. Every single piece of situation writing, okay, I'm saying every single situation writing should have a call to action. You should tell the reader to do something. In a formal letter, maybe you should. I look forward to hearing from you soon. If you are doing a speech, you probably go like let's all act to solve the environmental problems. If you are writing informal letter, you say, get back to me so that I can do the necessary planning for you when you come over to visit me in Singapore. Okay, bye bye. Those are all call to actions, whether you know it or not. How do you know if something is a call to action? Very often the call to action starts with a verb. Find out more. Okay, maybe I should do find out. Find out is a verb. So that's your call to action. So a very important tip for you guys, okay, when you're writing the entire thing, always remember to keep going back to check what? Keep checking the requirements. Make sure you've answered all the bullet points. So after you're done writing one paragraph, go back, look at this. Okay, so I've done this. Okay, tick it off. Okay, I'm done with this, tick it off. And then look at this. Okay, I'm done with this. What appeals to you? Okay, put a tick next to it. This will help you keep track of all the things. Okay, too many students, they move on to the next section, section C, without actually fulfilling all the criteria. The task fulfillment marks, right, which is related to the requirements. The task fulfillment is 10 marks. It is very possible for you to score full 10 marks for this. So I don't want you to lose marks. I want you to get all the marks you can. This is 10 free marks that you can just get easily as long as you apply the techniques that I told you, right? All these ROSE, and yeah, of course, like checking, making sure you have rhetorical questions, use of you, use of I for this article. So there you have it. Okay, this is a complete article. I would invite you to go and have a look at it. Now I have done one here. Okay, now what you're gonna do, you have 1, 2, 3 other options for you to try. So why don't you go ahead and do some planning for this one. Okay, and if you have any question, okay, just get back to me and maybe I'll have a look for you. I can check it for you. Okay, to make sure that you're on the right track. Yeah, so you can do the planning, you can do the elaboration, come up with some brainstorm some points that you can use in your writing later on. Right, we hope this video helps you in understanding how to write an article, and we'll see you in subsequent videos. Bye bye.